bottom right, he defeated Lucky, the Zerg player for Team AZUBU. It is
AZUBU Sleep.
Sleep is 0-2 in matches against Protoss in Heart of the Swarm. He lost to First twice. Has to deal with another Protoss player this time. Cross position on Belcher Vestige to the top left. We are the third player for Team FXOpen. It is
FXO Hurricane.
Hurricane has played 6 best-of-3s against Zerg in Heart of the Swarm offline. He's 3-3 right now, 50% win ratio. Won his last match against True, took out players like Sanae and Emir, but he lost to players like Violet, Life, and Shine.
Yeah, did all kill NS Hosa.
Yeah, and has to really come through for his team right now. Whoever takes this map is going to get the lead in the series. We had the tie situation with 2 versus 2.
And both teams have a lot of different players they could use for their closer. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but it's not absolutely certain. So if you are the one who takes this game, then you already know and can prepare for who the final player is on the bench. And you can talk with people and say, well, are you confident when it's playing against Ganji, for example, or Symbol? Yep. Or on the other hand, you know, if it's SC, it's like, oh, they sent SC out. That was a little bit surprising. Who thinks they can beat him? You have a little bit more time to think and talk about that. So this is a really pivotal moment going towards that final stage. Good hatch blocks here by Hurricane.
Yeah, trying to block the hatch as much as he can. The Nexus first has already been started for Hurricane. He's still able to make that block work.
Oh, wow.
Good job here. Very well done. There's already the Forge. He blocks it again. Ah.
If he got one more, he could have made the pylon. Yeah.
One more on the pylon would have been there.
That would have been just absolutely tragic for Sleep, but as a result of that blocking, this is a much better opening here for Hurricane. He definitely has a significant lead. That's the type of block that's not just your standard block. That was a really well done one.
Yeah. And well, now it's time for Hurricane to shine. He needs to pull this off somehow, and his team has relied on him. He has relied on Lucky, the player who didn't deliver today so far was Lenok. And what can he do against Protoss here? Still trying to get the scout in and find out if there's gas taken so far. The probe, of course, eventually goes down there. There's not escaping those Zerglings.
Yeah. Well, double gases here on the main, and the tech for tier. You know, on this map, I think most people are expecting to see a Stargate. It's what we've seen most often. Even very particularly the Stargate with the Zealot follow-up.
With no gateway opening, we have, of course, the third base between 4 and 420. What you would expect for the Zerg player, just taking that small risk that he has here. Completely changes when we have a gateway opening instead of a Forge first or a Nexus first, but in this case, with the scouting information that he already has, Sleep knows exactly that he can go for that opening without having any regrets or being afraid of losing the third right away against the gateway attack. Overlord at the front, of course, sticking around a little bit longer. Since there's no cybernetics core, he knows very well there's no anti-air unit that can threaten him.
Yeah. And this Overlord is just kind of... he could go on the high ground here, but he's just very much exerting his presence in the front. Stalker being chrono boosted out, though, and he sees this. He sees the Zealot move out as well.
Overlord taking a couple of shots here, not too many. But a Stalker chrono boosted here means, of course, first of all, the Overlord has to back off, and then with the Mothership Core, he can just push in a little bit. Mothership Core is already being built, and as soon as the Stalker is out, he can just move out and try to do a bit of damage. But additional Zerglings for Sleep are being built, and they will just help him to defend against this.
Yeah.
So already him just chrono boosting out the Stalker just forces Sleep to get a few units and sacrificing a few lava that he would have loved to spend on drones.
And Hurricane chases the Overlord away with the Mothership Core. The Mothership Core doesn't shoot at the Overlord, but it grants vision, so Sleep has to move the Overlord away, at least initially. The Mothership Core itself, though, is coming down with these units, so he may just try to target a Queen and get out. You know, we've seen this pressure a lot. It doesn't usually do damage, except the implied damage of the forced Zerglings. And with this Twilight Council timing, I think we're going to see DTs counter.
Yeah, I think so too. We have 3 gases taken. Does he? No, he has 4 already.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 4 gases taken, this looks very much like we're gonna see DTs. +1 attack upgrade has also been started here.
Yeah, and he has no forward pylon as we speak. He does not have a probe on the map, so...
I mean, it could be a +2 Blinkstalker build too.
Yeah. I don't think so in Heart of the Swarm, but it could be.
Yeah. It's a build that we've seen a long time ago in Week of Liberty.
And you know what? He's got it selected. He goes charge.
Okay, so with charge, usually what you see is either the Dark Shrine or seeing the Temple Archive to go for charge lots +1 and then having a few Archons in the mix as well.
Yeah.
And there's the Temple Archive, as already assumed. So this is a very strong build. This is very dangerous. Get the Archons out there. They are great against the Zerglings. They also buffer. And with the charge lots, you can do a lot of damage against your opponent. And I actually don't think that Sleep scouted the Twilight Council.
He did not. Let me verify that. Yeah, he did not see anything. He only saw the 3 gateways. And so this is very much scary for him because he doesn't know. And that's why he's putting a little bit of pressure on here with these Zerglings. He's going to try to find out what's going on. What he does know is that there's no 3rd Nexus.
You know, we do not see a Roach Warren, and that can be very dangerous. Yes, with the armor upgrade, you will counter the +1 attack upgrade of the Zealots.
But the Archons are going to make you look silly.
Exactly. And I'm a little bit afraid of him, for him here.
Well, he will force a cancel on this Nexus, but he doesn't realize that this is not really the plan.
Yeah.
He needs to save these sentries, though. That was close.
Has to cancel immediately, and we also have now the robotics nearly completed, so he can go for the Warp Prism, for the Warp Ins. That is very dangerous what we see here. Hurricane definitely has a great time against Sleep. Charge is now done, +2 has been started. If you Chrono Boost that upgrade, the +1 armor upgrade for Sleep is not even going to matter anymore.
Yeah, the only thing he's missing is pylons, and once he has those, he is going to have an incredible army. Oh, wow. He gets all the Zerglings as well, essentially for free.
Wow, that was an amazing force-filled wall here. That was
now
really well done.
Charge is shown.
Charge is shown, but he can't fight here, not yet. Here come the Archons, the problem really being that he doesn't have the +1 armor upgrade yet.
Immediately, Sleep is looking for pylons. He wants to know where they are. He's trying to catch reinforcements.
And he's trying to get his Roach Warren up, as well as an infestation pit for potential swarm hosts, but even with the sentries lost here, this is starting to look a little bit grim. Roaches will be built fairly soon. We have the Warp Prism on the way.
There's just so much production here from all these gateways. He has 7, and that ends up being the lucky number for Hurricane here as the Roach Warren is so late. 6 Roaches are not going to turn the tide of battle. The Spine Crawlers, though, they certainly will help.
The Spine Crawlers, they help, but the first one is down. Here comes the Warp Prism. Comes back, and we have the Time Warp at the back. The pylon goes down, but the Warp Prism is already on the way. The Zealots charging in, taking down Spine Crawler number 3.
Move the Archon away from those Spine Crawlers. Needs to do that.
He's going for the 3rd base now. The Archons, well shielded here by the Zealots, doing a lot of damage to those Zerglings.
The Warp Prism here arriving a little bit early with that new speed boost.
The Queens go down. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are gone, and the 3rd is very much exposed.
Yeah, another Archon coming through here. Just needs to make sure he keeps that one that's low on shields alive. Once the shield is gone, they have no hit points.
Now we have the Roaches out, and with the Roaches he actually can do a lot of damage now, but the problem is really the numbers. The Spine Crawlers are trying to come forward and just root down. They will maybe even be able to hold this. This is just going to be so close.
Incredible here. He's got the Spines down. The Archons need to be lifted by the Warp Prism, and that's that.
Well done here by Hurricane with a lift, but I have to give it to Sleep. That defense just worked out, and now he's going into the Swarm Host, as mentioned before. The problem really being that there is no Storm, there is no Colossi tech. He needs to get that upgrade out. And even with a Storm, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I almost feel like with the lack of Gateway army he has right now, he needs to go into Colossi instead of Storm, even though he already has the Bay. I mean, already has the Temple Archives. He's going to try to take this 3rd base here. Sleep considered going for a heavy attack there, but he realized, you know what, if I commit to this, this is a little bit too risky. He also might face a Warp Prism counterattack at any time.
Big problem for Sleep was that he also lost 16 Harvesters, so it's not like he defended without suffering any losses at all. He definitely took quite a few here. He lost Spine Crawlers, he lost the Queens that limited his production, so he was looking at it, trying to maybe hit a timing, but then he realized, well, as you said, taking this a little bit easier for now, just making sure to stabilize, get the good economy behind it, and then going in again.
The Warp Prism sees that infestation pit, and he's going to have to react back at home. Nicely done there. Look at that new acceleration. This first time I've really seen it up close. It does make a pretty big difference.
Yep. No, it definitely does. And I also like the choice. They're just swapping in the Zealots, forcing a reaction, but then retreating with them since he realized that he can't do anything against the Lings that were already heading in.
And there's the Robotic Support Bay. He knows that Storm is just not going to cut it at this moment in time.
But against this army, he should be fairly safe with the Locust that he now has. If he gets those additional Swarm Hosts out, that is.
Yes. And also, he needs to be fearful of Archon drops. Now that we have a lot of Archons out here.
He's behind in supply, and 4 Swarmos are not going to be enough. He needs a little bit more than that.
Yeah. 4 more on the way, and it looks like Hurricane is a little bit scared by this. He doesn't realize exactly how many Swarmos there are over there, and he's not going to commit right now. At least not yet.
There are 8 now. With 8 he can do a lot more, but this is a very big army. This is a huge army.
Yeah. Army supply right now vastly superior for Hurricane. He does have to face the Spines, though.
This might be too much. He has definitely detection with his army. He can go for the Swarmos.
Yeah. Targets him down with Zealots. The Archon's closing the gap here. The Roach is tanking some damage, but those Immortals at the back are just too much.
Most of the Swarmos are already gone, and another Archon is just moving in, taking down additional ones. Sleep is in trouble here. He's dropping in supply, and Hurricane, he just attacks and continues. This is relentless.
Relentless here. The Swarm host having to run away, but a nice blink to chase. And, you know, that squeal is what Sleep is feeling right now. He's losing everything here. The Roach is starting to fall. He doesn't have anything for the Immortals. Drones are fighting here against Archons. That's never ideal. Not even really using Blink Stalker Micro here anymore.
He's losing so much, and with everything gone, especially the base here at the Natural and the Swarm Host, I don't think that he will be able to take this game. This is just Hurricane barreling down on Sleep, and with a 40 supply lead, this looks like it is over.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the production anymore. He's making 7 roaches at a time, and a little bit of dancing.
Dancing his units, GG. And once again, FXOpen in the lead.
FXOpen takes the lead, and they will force the first last player to be chosen. So that means they have a lot more time to think and prepare for exactly how they want to handle that if Hurricane should lose the next game. Then, looking at it right now, I think if you're up against Hurricane first, you have to use Symbol. I think it has to be Symbol now.
Yeah, I agree. And Sleep, I mean, the snipe against Lucky was good. But you just need to do more. If you're the third player for your team, I, as a coach, would expect you to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it's like what Hurricane has done here shows that he more fits the role. He's done both.
Yeah, FXOpen is now in the position where for them it's absolutely okay to just snipe one opponent after another, because they are the team that is continuously in the lead. So that is working well for them. Boom Boom is even nodding here a little bit. Are we going to see Boom Boom out there? I don't know.
Yeah,
I would expect Symbol.
I don't think so. Like, you know, like I said, I bet my life we don't see San, Inca, or Boom Boom here. It's got to be Ganji or Symbol, and with how well Hurricane plays, especially in Team League against Terrans, I don't think it's going to be Ganji right now. I think it has to be Symbol, because he's the next step up. I mean, he is a top-tier Code S player.
He is their strongest player for sure, so it would be a bit surprising to not see him coming and stepping into the booth right now. And, well, let's see what's going to happen in the next game. Who's going to be the last player for Team AZUBU, and what can he do against Hurricane? Also, the map choice?
No map just yet, so no invite, so it's a mystery to me.
Yeah, I feel it has to be Symbol.
Yeah,
we're going to find out in a second.
I think so, too. I mean, just given that Symbol is the strongest player they have, Ganji is good, but Symbol is greater, and, yeah, it is him.
Has to be.
This is the best choice.
The last Zerg here to face for Team FXOpen, and of course not only Hurricane knows what's on, but the rest of the team is already talking about what happens if Tier is not able to bring him down.
Yeah, we had a snipe strat come out from Tier, and now he will probably play a straight-up game, and that's not an easy feat against Symbol.
Yeah. So we are now with the lead for FXOpen, 3-2. We're heading into another short break before we see the final 2 games, maybe the final 2 games for this series. Who is going to take the win today? Choya is still looking sharp here. He needs to rely on Hurricane right now, but they still have a 4th player to send into the battle if Hurricane falls. We're going to be back at the GSTL in a few minutes. Stay tuned.